Okay.
Because people are a bit sceptical when you use NWO.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, though, these are the phrases that the Americans were using back at the time of Bush and Blair. You know.
We're live.
God, have we done the countdown yet? No.
Aye, we're live.
Fine.
I guess we better get the Facebook comments up.
It's Chris up and Ali Watson.
I've just been notified we're live. It must be true.
Yep. Let's just see.
It must be true.
Yep. Yeah. So good he said it twice.
There you go. Because people are a bit sceptical when you use NWO. Yeah. Right. Oh, Lorraine, Lorna, Neil, Tommy, Mags. Who we got out here? Eddie, Jim, Fiona, Ginger Giraffes out there in America. You heard some bad news. Dear. Hi, Stevie. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Christine. Hey, Christine, how's things? Well, since we've seen you. Hey. Bit slowly. Hi, Jane. Jane's just popped in. She's got a plumber in the now, so her house must be chaos. You know. Hi, Sandra. Nancy. Jill. Jackie. Let's put us out here where I can see a wee bit better. Adele, Stephen. There we go. Laura. Rennie. Good afternoon, Stephen. How's things up there in Stormness? Damp and calm. Oh, well, that's not too bad. I've not got the Facebook comments, I'm afraid. I've always looking at the bandwidth today.
Yeah.
I've just got is watching. Hi, John. I see you've changed your profile picture, dear boy. Anyway, David.
54 on Facebook so far. I can't see it.
We've got 116 watching it at the moment.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Anyway, it's quite quick a day.
Yeah.
Anyway, David, can you take that down? The videos we were watching before we come on.
Yeah, in case it affects the bandwidth. There you go.
Thank you very much. MI5 is watching. I know. I just said hello to John.
Don't have a door, Chris, and just look. Make sure you don't interrupt us. We've got a lot to discuss today.
No, we haven't. Anyway, there's 123 watching us, so let's go on. We're going to start halfway. If we're going to be new people, let's make this clear when we talk about this first subject. Be careful in the comments. And David and I are going to dance around the substance of the case. And we're all going to talk about the theatre that was presented to us yesterday. So the very first subject is Nicola and Peter.
I think we can all agree that what we saw happening over the last 24 hours was a piece of British establishment theatre. You had two police vans, a forensics tent, policemen going about with shovels digging holes, and you'd have been forgiven if you didn't know about what was happening, and you just went and you tuned in the TV. You'd have thought, oh, the house has got a forensics tent in front of it, and people going about with shovels. Maybe they found bodies.
David, you and I know a wee bit about fraud cases, and I've never seen that sort of thing before.
Never, ever.
Thanks, Lenny. That's very generous, my friend.
That is a situation where, it prompted me to write to Police Scotland and ask them what the hell was going on and why they had that police presence, which was overkill. And I've actually included a Freedom of Information request, which is, tell us who the high Haitian was that made the order for that kind of response to go out to Peter and Nicola's house.
And I see your friend, the double agent Sean Clerkin, has been accredited by the Times as being the person who brought this whole thing about. So what Sean knows about how parties lodge their accounts and how parties deal with money and electoral law, and you could write in the back of your stamp. Sean's about as bright as a 9-watt bulb.
Yeah.
He's about as blunt as a butter knife. Thanks, Christina. Very generous of you. I mean, Sean has been pulling stupid stunts and been done for wasting the police time and everything. The guy's a lunatic. This is a guy who stood in Glasgow Central Station with England out of Scotland. Stood at Edinburgh Airport with England out of Scotland. The man's a bloody embarrassment to the movement. And Peter, if you really want to know what was going on in the accounts in 2020 when Sean made his claim, pop onto my timeline and scroll down. You'll see what an accountant Karen has put up her forensic breakdown of the SNP's accounts for that year, the year that Sean made his complaint. And there's nothing amiss. Nothing amiss. Okay. And every year, since the crowdfunder was started, the Electoral Commission has passed the accounts. Why? Because ring-fenced funds don't have to be declared to the Electoral Commission.
Well, look, let's have a wee bit of blooming common sense on this, right? The SNP have known for lots of years now that they cannot make a single move out of step. Why? Because they've got the whole of the British establishment ready to jump on them.
Now, for all criticise the mistakes that Alex made since he stepped down, I have always agreed that Alex was got at, but it wasn't Nicola Sturgeon as the press tried to portray. It was a British state, and we all know it goes back to a hard talk programme at 2 a.m, where he was asked what his weaknesses were, and he said whiskey, women, and horses. Yeah. Whiskey, they were never going to get him on. Gambling his own money, they were never going to get him on. Women, he gave them the in himself.
Yeah.
No, but his missteps in the media are something different altogether. Yeah. But it would appear there's a pattern. Now they want to shut Nicola and their man up. Yeah. Simple as that. What we seen on television yesterday was more akin to a murder inquiry than a forensic fraud investigation. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about it as it was. It's a forensic fraud investigation, and after 18 months it was gone nowhere. So the Procurator Fiscal's office sent the police off in a different direction to look for something else. Mm-hmm. Which means another 18 months of running through all the paperwork again. Paperwork that they'd already got. Right?
However, David, that paperwork is neither here nor there. The majority of the information will be in the digital domain, which they've already got.
Aye. But what is this has now been shelved. Peter wasn't arrested. He went down the cob shop, said, "I'm here to assist."
Yeah.
Walked out after 11 hours and 35 minutes, has been pointed out by a friend of mine who's an ex-copper.
Yep.
And no charges laid.
Yeah.
Why? Why is there no charges laid? They've had 18 months to investigate this. Yeah. And I see the other conspiracy theory nut job was writing in Wings Over Scotland yesterday that apparently I'm in for a shock. Well, the other conspiracy theory nut job has been telling me I'm in for a shock for the last 6 years. The biggest one was he told us when Alex was going to get into the inquiry, he was going to blow the whole thing open as a witch hunt and a conspiracy against him by Nicola Sturgeon. Alex immediately walked into the inquiry. He was asked whether there was a conspiracy against him, and said no. Wow.
Now, one thing we were discussing before coming online was the difference between an arrest and an interview under caution. There's very, very little difference. The main difference is with arrest, you can't leave. with an interview under caution, you can get up and leave anytime you want. Right? You are proffering your input, right? And at the end of the day, I think it was Peter that got up and said, "Right, guys, that's nearly 12 hours. Bye-bye."
11 hours and 35 minutes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well,
In fact, I don't know exactly, because I was told by a friend of mine who will not disclose his name because I don't want him to get into trouble, because that's what happened. Apparently, Peter sat and talked about the weather.
Yeah.
And had a nice cup of tea.
Well, anyway, as regards the fact that it's all over the news, and I'm just reading what Sharon Kelly's saying there, it's all over the news and newspapers that he was arrested. The fact is that the broadcast news will never, ever be called to answer for that, unless Peter Morrell decides that it's in his interest to go after them legally.
What's interesting is this is an ongoing inquiry. No, it's not. It's been bloody well shelved to be pulled back at any time the SNP become inconvenient.
Yes.
This was to create a smell of corruption.
Yeah.
People don't really understand how stringent things are here in Scotland. They all forget that Henry McLeish had to step down because he didn't declare a 97 pence packet of biscuits in his accounts on government money. Up here, they declare their accounts daily and weekly, their expenses. Down there, well, it's as bent as a 9-bob note.
Yeah. So we've got to really, really consider that yesterday, yes, it hurt Nicola and Peter. There's no doubt about it, right? Absolutely no doubt about that. It was a horrible thing to go through. But people like me and David that are actually SNP members, it hurt us as well. Because we have to go through that.
John makes a good point, and sometimes John sometimes disagrees with us guys, which is fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but he's right. We've all got friends who are police officers, and every single one of them will say to us, "That's a bit unusual."
Yeah.
That's way over the top.
The one was the one that I picked up on and actually put on my timeline was one from Andrew Patterson. He says, "I've got 2 posts in the family. The resources being used for this piece of theatre are not normal. It's difficult to get that many police vans, tents, etc. together for even a violent crime."
Normally, when it comes to these things, you get a couple of cops outside their office while you get 5 or 6 forensic officers in taking out computers and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got 20 officers at Nicholas, who's I'm reliably informed, and they're back there today again. Look, the bride says she's getting the gardening done cheap. Hey, apparently the flower beds are finished.
Yeah, and you got a few more sort of pools for putting koi carp in and things like that. Yeah.
Lorraine makes a great point. It's a point you made in the post you put out. If you want to stick it up the man, now's the time to join the SNP.
Yeah, in actual fact, rather than make you go looking for a particular post, this is the post that I wrote the other night. Retribution at school. Okay, so now we know that yesterday's action was created by the British state. Perhaps many of you who thought all this stuff was simply conspiracy theory will now stick it to the man and join the SNP. When the images fed to you on TV are police vans and forensic tents, the police aren't looking for fraud, they're instead looking for bodies. If you fell for it, don't be embarrassed, because I assure you, you're not alone. This is one of those moments in time where people like you and I realise they've been played by a British establishment and look for ways to hit back. This was an action created to make 2 figures look bad and by association make the SNP look bad. If you want the best way to hit back, then simply join the SNP. Look the party up on the web, Google it, and get it done quick as possible.
Fiona's asking a good question there. What the hell? Why are they still there today? What are they looking for in the garden? They're looking for dead bodies.
I know. And you know, you've been told quite.
What I do know is a fact, because my brother lived in the same street, is they tipped their bins out in the back garden on sheets of polythene to go through our rubbish.
Right, okay. So, what is it? Is it now shelved? Is the investigation now over temporarily or whatever?
The term is ongoing. You've got to create a smell. You've got to create a smell. You know, the whole play of the thing is to enhance Labour's position here. That's why Starmer's been up here every week since the last wee while.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
That's been kept hush hush.
I mean, is it possible that the bodies at Nicola's home, Nicola and Peter's home, are there to clean up the mess?
Mm.
No.
George says maybe he murdered the money. Well, actually, if you scrolled in my timeline, as I said, there's a copy of accounts in front of there.
So Maureen Johnson has put up an interesting comment. She says, so why has so many resigned? Pete, Nicola, etc., etc., etc.
It was a change of the bloody guard.
Hang on. Just answer the woman properly, right? Okay. Nicola gave up because, well, you can see the blooming hiding that she's been taking for years now, right? If Nicola went, Peter says he went because there was the embarrassment with the actual number of members, right?
He said 4,072, 2,800.
Right, okay. And John Swinney, he resigned. Well, the reason he resigned is because, well, his job was coming to an end anyway. The new First Minister would choose his own deputy. And so therefore...
Robertson.
Yeah, that's right. You know, so I really don't see why this is an issue. Why have so many resigned? It's common sense. New First Minister.
Listen, why so many resigned? Look at the change of the guard between Bojo and Truss. Look at the change of the guard between Truss and Sunak.
Yep.
Look at the change of the guard. Knew that they've got a new leader in the SNP and he wants his own people running about him.
Yep.
That's normal in politics. Absolutely normal. That when there comes a change of the guard, change of a leader, you get a change in the cabinet, you get change in ministers, and you get a change in press officer when the press officer resigned.
Yeah.
And it looks like Peter and Nicola want to go on holiday, but they're not getting the piece to do it.
Yeah. Well, I hope they book a nice cruise somewhere, take some around the world, Bahamas, whatever, you know.
And Stella says it's true. They found a recyclable yogurt pot in the main rubbish bin.
Too much, my girl. Too much.
I'll tell you what, Peter Houston must be going off his heat. He lives next door to Nicola. You know, Peter must be going, what the feck?
No.
You know, poor Peter's not being able to sit in his garden. Probably knowing Peter Houston, he's going to see down a fence pissing himself laughing.
Right. I think we've covered that well enough. I think if you don't see it as a piece of British establishment theatre, then there's no helping you.
Nathan, you're right. Nathan, that's one thing you're right. Whomsa can change the Lord Advocate. Yes, he can.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, he can change the Lord Advocate. Of course he can. But it would still be the UK state lawyer in Scotland.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Hey, Paul, nice to see you there on Facebook. I keep meaning to drop by Shelton and come in and say hello, Paul. I haven't been over in Glasgow for a while now. I need to get there and see you. I hope you and your mother are doing well. And your father. It was lovely to meet the two of them in Glasgow. It really was. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk about, people are calling it the New World Order.
Yeah, we'll just do the banking bit first. And then we'll go back on it later on.
Hold on, we don't really. All right, then Ginger's not going to like this, but she needs this information.
Yeah. What do you want the video banging up?
No, I don't, because I don't know the guy, so there might be copyright issues.
Right. Okay. We've got a developing situation where now lots of countries are talking about binning the petrodollar.
They're also talking about trading with each other and each other's own currencies.
Right, absolutely.
Instead of having the petrol, instead of having the dollar as the intermediary, they're talking about this directly dealing with each other's own currencies.
It has been the international reserve currency for years, and what's happened now is it's going to wobble.
Right, hold on. We better explain to people a wee bit about reserve currencies and how many are in the basket. All right.
Yep.
Speak, David.
Yeah.
Silent air doesn't work.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the Prime Minister or President of Kenya on the other day there, telling people, look, if you're holding dollars, US dollars,
get rid of them.
Or get rid of them. You know, and within 2 weeks they'll be worth nothing. You know, so it's a frightening situation because America are militarily very powerful, and if the petrodollar goes tits up, sorry for the French, but if it goes tits up, then America could do something very, very dangerous.
Okay, the reserve currencies, who's in the basket? Right, you've got the yen. Yeah. You've got the yuan. The yuan.
Chinese.
You've got the Swiss currency, the United States currency, the Indian currency, the Russian Federation, and the UK. That makes up the 7. But I noticed in this latest update on the basket of your reserve currencies, the pound's no in it. It's been downgraded from 7 currencies to 6 currencies. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting, actually.
No, there isn't an explanation here. I've just asked what currencies are in the basket of reserve currencies. 1 China, 2 Japan, 3 Switzerland, 4 United States, 5 India, and 6 Russia. And there used to be 7 in there, and it was the United Kingdom pound was in there. So I don't know whether it's a mistake in the article or whether something's changed. And
right.
The UK's currency has been kicked out of that basket of reserve currencies.
I thought that Russia and China were the 2 countries that were looking to put together a gold-backed currency.
Yeah, they just signed 14 different agreements on the idea.
I know that, but there's another country that's already well in the way, believe it or not, and it's not a country I'm particularly enamored with, is Iran. Iran are also looking to put together a gold-backed currency. It's not the dirham. It's, I forget the name of what the currency is, but there you go. So there, 3 countries looking to put together a gold-backed currency. If just one country puts together a gold-backed currency, all the fiat currencies go, right?
No, let's get this right. If one big enough economy does it. Yeah. We've seen what happened to Iraq when Saddam Hussein tried to launch a gold-backed currency.
I'll also look at Libya.
Aye.
They dragged Gaddafi through the streets because what had happened was they made him look like an international criminal.
Right.
And you actually look at if you look at what Gaddafi had done for his people.
His policies were brilliant as long as you agreed with them. You disagreed with them, it was deadly. But if you agreed with them, his social policies were great. Free university, free health.
Yeah.
When you get married, you get 50,000 in their currency to buy yourself a house. Yeah. When you get your first child, you get another 5,000 in their currency to help bring that child up. The social policies in Libya were fantastic.
That's right. Yeah.
But of course, that's not the way it was portrayed in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
You know, in the mainstream media was a bloody tyrant. His own people was a bloody hero.
And with the Lockerbie air disaster, which was Libya, well and truly, right?
Apparently in Iran it's the Real.
Yeah, that's right. And
what's more interesting is the fact that these 27 countries who are now in the BRICS, or joining the BRICS, have all agreed to trade with each other in their own currencies.
Yeah.
And that cuts out the petrodollar as the intermediary.
So
and that weakens the dollar.
So we can talk about the dollar being weakened until the cows come home. We can actually watch it happening. The other day there, it's like we had Sky News, the financial guy on saying, oh look, the pound's doing well against the dollar. No, it wasn't. The pound was looking better because the dollar was going down.
Aye, and what we also have to understand, and Mr. Rees pointed this out, is the UK is the third largest holder of US bonds.
Correct.
China's the second, by the way.
But with China, I think in actual fact, the last time I looked, I think they're holding $280 billion
Aye.
in US bonds. Yeah, so I really don't think that's gonna hurt China.
It's not even going to influence the sides. That's why China's doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, let's face it. I mean, we'll get the EU. Let's move on to what was going to be subject number 4, the EU and China.
Yeah.
Right. The EU are their way. The EU president, von der Leyen.
Von der Leyen, David.
And Macron are there right now, trying to find out what China's up to, and try to decide whether the EU is going to have to go that way or not.
Yeah, they're in Beijing, giving press conferences. You can actually see it if you go into Sky News or wherever. And I assure you, Macron, the EU, Germany as well. You know, you'll find it all over. They are all scared of this situation. And
everybody's nervous in this situation. What's interesting is the MSM in America, and this is important for Ginger, who's watching. The MSM in America, like the MSM here in the UK, are not talking about this stuff.
Yeah, they're talking about Trump.
And here in the UK, they're talking about Mr. Muro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there's a dead cat on the table. Anybody looking at what's actually going on? No, we're all looking at the dead cat.
Yeah. Or,
wow.
Look, there's a squirrel up in that tree there. Why don't we all look at that? You know. So, guys, we cannot impress on you how important this is and how important it is for you to actually go looking at it. All the other stuff that they're trying to blooming push on you is nothing. It's this stuff, the New World Order. And I know we all blooming cringe when we hear that phrase. Bush used it. After the Iraq war, Bush used New World Order. So did Blair, right?
And I've said in this programme often, people don't find enough of what's going on in Davos each year.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
In fact, a lot of people haven't even heard of Davos.
Yeah.
You know, but what's interesting, David, is see what everything that's going on. I've got a big lump sum coming and I'm buying gold.
Yeah. No, maybe not such a bad idea. There was somebody on one of the things I watched the other day there saying precisely that. You should be thinking about gold, silver, any of the precious metals, right? Another one that can be considered as a precious metal now, if you can get enough of it, is copper.
Aye, but no, I'm buying gold. I've got a big sum coming at the end of this year, and I mean a big sum, and I'm buying gold.
Right.
I'm buying a new kitchen and gold.
Anyway, right. So there you go. That's your the.
Yeah, apparently Davos used to lead the Daleks. That's true, aye.
Now, briefly, we're going to go off a complete tangent here, and it might be one that will make you smile. Today, it was announced that, according to the Halifax Building Society, house prices have gone up. But according to the Nationwide Building Society, house prices have gone down. So how can both be true? Is one making it up? Is whatever, right? Now we know fine well that if the Tories, by their own admission, have not built enough houses in England, right?
Built any.
Yeah, and what actually happens when something becomes in short supply, the price goes up. However, we've got the other side, which is we've got a Bank of England, share of blooming idiots, busy pressing the button to blooming get the interest rate going up. And that means people going for a mortgage, they'll look at the mortgage and go, no, it's too expensive, we can't do it, right? And effectively, that would send the price of houses going down. So I think we're not going to pass judgment on this, either David or I. What we're going to do is along with you, we're going to keep our eye on it and just see what happens. See who's right.
Hi, Rosie. Welcome aboard. What's going on in the housing market is quite simple. It's supply and demand.
Yeah.
We are not creating supply, so there is a demand.
Yeah.
And it's artificially inflating the housing prices in certain parts of the UK. London especially.
Yeah, people that are maybe downsizing or they've got a house of a similar worth to actually put into another house, fair enough. But anybody that's going for a mortgage at the moment, you'd have to be on drugs badly to go for a mortgage at the moment, which is a tracker mortgage. My goodness me! I mean, the Bank of England could continue putting up the mortgage rate for the next year.
But that's what the banks are doing, David. You and I know what the banks are doing. They're undermining the value of government bonds, which means the holdings of these banks are going down, which means that they don't have enough to cover the depositors. It's deliberate.
Well,
and we know the reason behind it, and that's CBDCs. But people still think this stuff is conspiracy theory, even though we know that it's out there. You can go into the G7 and watch Sunak and the G7 finance ministers sign up.
Sorry, David.
Which is expected.
I was trying to search for something while you were talking there. I do apologise. Yeah, the problem with the banks is that we've got a silly situation with the banks, according to Professor Murphy, where they get the stress tests, and if they're shown to wobble even a slight amount, then money is created by the Bank of England, it adds to the public debt, and it goes to the bank that's wobbling.
Aye. Something like that. You excuse me if there's a bit of background noise. We've got a friend just popped in to trap something like that.
Okay, no problem. But you look at things like that and you think, especially something like me, I've got a business. Just the same as the banks have got a business. I've got a wee business, right? Come on. If you're going to give them money, give me money, right?
David, you and I discussed this often. I mean, the value of my investments have bottomed out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm now suing the UK government for compensation, what they did with the SIPP1 and SIPP2.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
I'm not going to state the figures involved here, but it's a huge amount that I've lost.
Yes.
A huge amount, David. You and I have discussed this in private.
No, I remember you mentioned it, and I was gobsmacked.
I mean, you're talking about I've ended up with less than a quarter of my investment because of the moves made by the UK government under Gordon Brown.
Yeah. So
I'm now seeking compensation for the amount of money I've lost. It's huge.
Thanks, Eddie. Thank you.
Why I'm going to buy gold when I get compensation in, because when things have gone, come on, my pound is not going to be worth very cool.
Well, the idea of buying gold or precious metals is not such a bad idea. Um, I've probably got enough to build another house and copper wire at the back of me here.
Shame you got space, huh? Right, let's move on. What's next?
Next thing on the list was Brexit checks.
Aye, that's interesting. Apparently, they're only going to do what they're supposed to do and implement them by the December 23rd at the end of this year.
Yes. The British government are now talking about those checks being fully implemented by 2027. Now there are three specific dates or things that they have to do. Which October this year, I think it's the drugs one they've got to complete, and then is it March of 24 they've got to do something else. There's got to be another set of checks, I think, on animals, right? And then the final one was supposed to be in October 24, but now they're talking about it being fully implemented by 2027.
What's interesting about that is the Tories are likely not to be in power.
Yeah, well, that's precisely why they're doing it. They're kicking it down the road, knowing they won't have to suffer the pain.
That's because the pain is sanctions.
Yes.
The World Trade Organization, the European Union, the Americans, the Chinese, everybody is going to bounce on the UK.
Yep.
But what's most dangerous about that for us is remembering that the 22 trucks were checked last year and 20 of them were bounded because the stuff in the back of them wasn't fit for human consumption. Yet it was going to our food supply.
One can imagine a really ambitious company that does food processing, blooming taking in the diseased food and converting it so it can be consumed by us. My goodness, you do all sorts. The idea of it makes me sick. It really does.
Aye, Dylan, you're right. The union is setting about trying to destroy the SNP. Of course they are. They're a threat to the union. They're a threat to the established order. Anybody or anything that's a threat to the established order has to be destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people laughed at me when I said we were a Gandhi moment, and we are. We are up against a rock and a hard place. The rock is us, the hard place is them. Something's going to give. And according to Professor John Curtis, they're the people that are going to give. Thank you, Arthur. That's very, very generous of you. It really is.
And Oberlek has been saying the buses are now piled up at Dover. Blinking disaster. Well,
actually, it's quite funny because a lot of the kids on that bus, their parents were the day buses, their parents would have voted for Brexit.
Can you no, seriously? Can you imagine being stuck on a luxury coach for a day? Never mind 2 days.
Listen,
awful.
The toilets have got to be emptied. Where do you tip everything out in the toilet, man? If you're sitting in the,
Exactly. That just beggars belief. It really does.
Eddie, interrupted by a phone call. Naughty step.
But Alistair, there's a question I want to ask you. How's your hand? How's your hand?
That's Ali, that's no Alistair.
Are you sure?
Aye, it's no Alistair, it's Ali.
Right, Ali.
The boy lives in France.
Yes, that's
He'll have his motorbike.
I just want to know if how's his hand. So.
I've seen a bloody picture of it. I wish I hadn't.
Oh. An old business partner of mine used to do dirt track racing.
Aye.
So he had the bike specially made up and all the rest of it, right? And he was going through a gully, which was rock either side of him, and he hit the side, and his pinky bent right back. Oh.
Bloody so long, huh? But he's no, I said this last week, I love the bikers. They're great guys, great fun. But I'm also grateful for them, because when my heart gives out, one of the fuckers will come off a bike and I'll get a new one.
When I was a teenager, I had a motorbike, and I came off the bugger 5 times. That's how good a motorbike driver I was. And bloody hell, every time it hurt, and I've still got the scars to show for it. Not good. If any of your kids decide that they want to actually get a motorbike or a scooter or anything like that, just say politely no. We'll wait and we'll save up for a car. One wheel at each corner and a bit of metal round about you. At least it gives you some protection. Not if a truck hits you.
Come on, where's your wild and free spirit, David? When you're that age, you want to get in a bike, and of course, when you've got a midlife crisis, you want to get in a bike,
There it goes. Look, it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, 45-year-olds. Thanks, Davey. That's very
Thank
generous.
you. Thank you.
And Dylan, I liked your comment earlier on. Now, to be honest, let's face it. I mean, a bike is a liberating thing. Whether it's a push bike or a motorbike or whatever, that feeling of the wind through your hair as you're buzzing along, brilliant.
But you don't get the
But
wind.
you get that with a soft top, a convertible.
No, but you don't get the wind going through your hair these days. You had to be back in the 70s if you wanted to hear wind going through your hair, right?
I'm Gen X, so I know what wind blowing through my hair in the 70s. Anyway, what's next? Come on.
Yeah, well, that was basically it. We put in the New World Order and China and the EU, and we eventually just conglomerated them into one. So really, it's down to our guys here to see if they want us to discuss something.
Apparently, nothing wrong with motorbikes. John had a Kawasaki.
Yep.
Good bike. Crank bike.
You realise if you turn the W upside down and you move the K and the I away from it, ends up with kamikaze. I mean, there you go. I'm not saying anything about it, but there you go, right?
Brilliant. Anyway, what deeds have we gone on down that road this week?
No.
Any idea?
No. To be honest with you, the whole thing with Rishi Sunak now is I'm watching him. He is spending money hand over fist to make himself look good.
Oh, aye. He's got promoters. But well, I would say it looks as if Rishi's edging near picking up on Theresa May's idea of moving us all back into the customs union, the single market.
He did.
That could well be the thing that wins the Tories the next election if he actually makes that move.
Yeah, absolutely. Because okay, there would be a lot of people that voted for Brexit would be blooming angry, but within a course of just a few months, they'd all of a sudden see the green shoots of the economic growth, and they'd go, "Oh, well, fair enough then." So for people to be so hoodwinked into throwing away all our nearest neighbours that we trade with, I can't believe it.
Well, now you're making an argument for the union.
No, I'm not making an argument for the union. I'm making an argument for how stupid people were to vote for Brexit.
Well, actually, you're making an argument for a trade blocks.
Yeah.
The union isn't a trade block. We've just had the internal market bill sort that one out. The union is they're trying to turn it a singularity, which means that they lied to the United Nations in 1967. Which is a big issue, actually. But I'm going to put up Mr. E's comment.
That was what I was going to say, right?
What about something radical, guys, like independence, Jamie Hepburn getting out and organising? No, that wasn't the one for Mr. E that I wanted to show.
No, it starts with Davies.
Hold on, is that Mr. E's one?
It's down about there, is there?
Aye. Davies, will Scotland, after independence, be able to negotiate with a clean slate in the new international economic world after being tainted by association by British Empire with impunity? No, with impunity.
Yeah.
One thing we do know is that we are more trusted internationally.
Yeah, but also,
if you rock up at any state in the world and they call you English or British and you say no, I'm Scottish, then they welcome you, get changes.
Right, and it's the thing that I've been talking about over and over and over and over again. start learning the difference between money and wealth. They're not the same thing, right?
No.
Right. So, and the one thing that Scotland has got by spadefuls, right,
As
is
well.
wealth. And that is what will count going forward. So let's say that the United Kingdom goes tits up, right? And it will be
already there.
I'm talking about
2.8 trillion in debt and we're no tits up.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Scotland being tainted with that. No, we won't, because if we get independence, then we can just go, right, we've got the wealth, they've got the debt, let it carry on.
Aye, buggerly.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Radio Scotland the other morning, and they tell us a new report out said that Scotland's deficit would be 15% bigger than estimates if we became independent right now. And I thought, these people are getting really desperate now.
Yes, they are desperate, because anybody with half a brain can actually work out that what they're saying is nonsense.
Of course it is. As you said, on the Two Davies channel, the big lie is dead.
Yeah, it's gone.
In fact, pop it up.
All right, okay, I'll see if I can find it.
Let's remind people of the big lie being dead.
Yeah, okay. Here it comes. I can find it.
And then you get Murdo the Fudd agreeing with us.
Yeah.
That if Scotland left, the way the UK would be poorer. Or our UK would be poorer.
I can't get into it. I can't get into it because we're actually live at the moment.
What do you mean you can't get any because you're live? Hold on a minute.
No,
I can't. A new tab. Right, I'll get it.
Right. Open a new tab. There you go.
There you go. Where are we? The big lie is dead. Here, I'll stick it up.
Yeah, go on.
Right, let's go to say share. The big lie is dead. Here we go, folks. Just to remind you all.
Yeah.
Tricia Gibbs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As Tory MSP Murdo Fraser points out, Scotland has a third of Britain's landmass, half its territorial, over 60% of UK fishing zones, 98% of oil reserves, 63% of natural gas, a quarter of Europe's offshore wind resources and 90% of the UK's fresh water. Can the Deputy Prime Minister explain if his opposition to Scottish independence is because he fears the loss of these invaluable resources?
Deputy Prime Minister.
She's absolutely right in what she just said. There are huge assets right across Scotland, and that's why we think we're stronger together in delivering for the people of Scotland.
You couldn't make it up, could you? Seriously, you couldn't make it up. Yeah.
It's just like magic.
And that's it.
There you go.
That was a school bully speaking.
I have to say, that guy was right, though. I've never seen such an amazing thing. This stuff is magic. It's always nice to get near the end on a light-hearted note.
Yeah.
But the big lie is dead.
Yes.
And there you have Dominic the idiot admit it in the comments.
We know that the big lie, if anybody has got any idea of the German, if you like, the German setup of the 1930s and 1940s, there was a certain gentleman there called Joseph Goebbels, who was very, very good at propaganda, and he was the chap that talked about the big lie, you know. And I can't remember what the phrase is, but it was something like,
the exact phrase was tell a lie often enough and tell it and promote it hard enough, yes, and it will become truth.
And anybody that actually usurps the big lie is therefore an enemy.
A conspiracy theorist.
No, they're an enemy of the state. That was
and a conspiracy.
He didn't use conspiracy theory. He just used an enemy of the state, right?
No, I know, but we have to fast forward a wee bit and know anybody that looks like, anybody that says something that doesn't match state narrative is a conspiracy theorist.
I think people now are starting to question that idea. You know, you can see somebody that's a conspiracy theory that they're a nutter, and they tend to be obviously a nutter because, okay, the thing that you're looking at, you might go, well, I sort of agree with that, right? But then you look at what else they're talking about, and they are, oh, for goodness sake, But nowadays, there are things that we've looked at in the past as being conspiracy theories that we're now looking back at again. We're going, I'll give you a good example of that, right? We just saw this week the crew that's going to be going up and going round the moon. Yeah. Now, that rocket that they've built is the biggest rocket to go outside the Earth's atmosphere ever, right? But what happened about the Saturn V? I thought the Saturn V was the biggest, but no, this is like another chunk and a half bigger than it. Reason is because that rocket has got shielding, which Saturn V didn't have. They had basically a bit of tin foil between them, the guys inside, and the cosmic radiation, which would have killed them. So there you go, guys, right? And that particular rocket had various test flights with no people inside. It was just done as not with meters to actually read how much radiation was getting in. So there you are. It's just, we're looking at things like the moon landings, and we're going, did they do it? Didn't they do it? It's going to have to take somebody actually landing and seeing what's there.
Right. And when they get up there, they'll discover there's a Chinese restaurant in the fourth corner.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have extra curry as well, please?
Aye, Rosie, they have contests on the Destiny. I was reading about that in the day.
We've no.
The way a digitally printed one, or 3D printed one, for test runs to take it down for Charlie's coronation. Well, if it's a good digital print, let's send them that.
let's just put a bit of reality into that, right? Stone of Destiny, right? Back at the time of Robert the Bruce, he didn't have the ability to make it out of, I don't know, a printed whatever. However, they knew that Edward Longshank's men were coming to Scone Palace to pick up the Stone of Destiny. And they took away something, but I don't think it was a Stone of Destiny, because after that came the War of Independence. Yeah? And the Irish helped out in that War of Independence. And Robert the Bruce is on record as having broken off a small piece of the Stone of Destiny and given it to the Irish in thanks for their assistance, apart from other things.
And Lorraine says, I see we have a new queen. Apparently, the queen consort tab has to be dropped for Camilla. She's just to be the queen.
Yeah, I thought I had a good blooming signal going. I got a really, really good wee statement going, which is not my king. Now I've got to add to that. I've got to not my king and not my queen.
It's not a big leap, is it? Let's face it, if he's no your king, she's no your queen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyways, the boy from Aberdeen says we're all kings and queens because we're all sovereign.
Now, what would happen? Just a wee question to the panel. What would happen if Charles died? Would she take over as queen?
No, William's old enough to take out the chair now. That'll go down well here with half the population of Scotland.
So, let's just look at that. For a start, I disagree with her being there, right? That's point one. But is it going to go to a boy? Is it going to go to a male?
No, it isn't. They'll always change on that, as you know.
So therefore, she's not queen.
Therefore, but what you could say is she could do what the Duchess of Sutherland did, or the Duchess of Hamilton did, which are dowager duchesses, and just refuse to give up the titles to their children until they're dead.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So it's an interesting situation, that one, if you're interested in these people. But me, you know, I go with the old adage, you know, there'll be no peace on this planet until every fucking priest is strangled by his entrails and every king is hung for a tree.
That's right.
But you're not allowed to say these things because that's supposedly provoking violence. But I'm only talking about a quote that was made a few hundred years ago by somebody else.
Yeah.
So YouTube, behave yourself.
Oh dear. Anyway.
It's always nice to end on a funny note because we're just about there now. What are we? 55.
Yeah.
Now, folks, now as we come towards the end of the stream, the live stream, there's a couple of things. There are marches, there's static events and things like that. Get out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a static event this Saturday in Dundee, a show your salt tire event. Get out there and decorate Dundee in salt tires.
Yeah. And join the SNP.
Aye, very important. Marco's been right since 2015. Marco's been right, and nobody's been listening to him.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see a few people are starting to pick up on what Marco's saying, and they're making a few ads to put out their own what Marco's saying.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to really show a verifiable lust for independence, join the bloody SNP. It's verifiable by the Electoral Commission.
Yeah. You know, it might well be that you've voted for another party, but you want to stick it to the man. Get your blooming SNP membership as well. Hold your nose if you've got to, but do it. See, after that yesterday, we've got to be sticking it to the man.
And the other thing is, David, you and I are members and we don't agree with all the policies.
No, that's right. Absolutely.
But we are on board with the main thrust of the SNP, and that is to get us out of this bloody union.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, let's get to the point of it.
How many, you know, looking at yesterday, at what you saw, it was so obviously a piece of theatre by the British staff. How long do you want this to carry on? Do you want to be going through this another 10 or 20 years from now? Obviously.
How long are they going to say there's no appetite? Well, if 2 million people join the SNP, they can't say there's no bloody appetite.
That's right. That's right. Dead right. Common sense. If you've got, if there's 2 of you and you've got 3 kids that are old enough, all you join. That's an extra.
Aye, and remember, you can register your kids as members for 13-year-old only.
That's right. So.
And apparently David and Dylan will be at the next march. I think the next big one will be the 6th of May, the coronation date in Glasgow.
Yeah. Okay.
And that has to be bloody massive.
I will attempt to get there. David knows.
Oh no, you'll get there. You'll no attempt. You'll get there.
Yeah, it's David knows I've got a problem with the marching. My legs just can't do it. Right, something like that. So what I'll do is I'll find a way to actually get to the end point, and I'll meet you all coming in.
Well, a good example there at the weekend when we were in Edinburgh was when we got down the end of the boat from the Royal Mile and we turned into Holyrood. Yeah. There were people there who couldn't march, David.
Thanks, Davey. Thank you very much.
Aye, thanks, David. Thanks very much. You've all been very generous today, folks, to be honest with you. David and I will make an announcement the next time we make a donation route, because the way things are going is, you know, David and I laid out our own money while we waited on the money coming in, so we're going to take our own money back, and then start laying your guys your money out. So, and we've got the new bank account set up.
That's right. The new bank account will be next week or so. It should be set up, but effectively that means that the AdSense money will go directly into that account. So,
and for you guys on Facebook who keep shouting at me, how do we donate? How do we donate? We're looking at the star system, folks.
Yeah.
Where you buy a star
on
Facebook.
Yeah.
And that way you can donate that way.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it. It takes a wee bit of time to go through all this stuff and look at the terms and conditions, see how much they're going to crop off the top.
Yeah.
before your money gets to us to go to the food bank.
I personally think it's ridiculous that Google are taking 30%.
Wow, Margaret, thank you, Margaret. That's
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you very much.
I mean, honestly, guys, the help that you provide to the local communities here in Scotland is invaluable.
Yeah.
Invaluable, as we know times are really, really tough. And the other thing I want to talk about is there's still about 8 or 10 tickets available for those here in the west of Scotland who want to go along to the ND2 charity night.
Yep, I'll be there.
And I'll be there.
Yep.
And Pete will be there. The Dragon will be there.
It's worth,
and the ND2 Traffic crew will be there.
actually worth going because look, I think everybody in that hall got a prize last night.
Oh Christ, there was that many raffle prizes. You may as well just give them away.
Margaret, don't forget after this the dog needs to go for a walk, so I'm gonna shout it, walkies! Is that okay?
Hey, you're all right. Hey, thanks, Phil. I know I'm the handsome David. I'm the other one.
Thank you, Phil.
Phil's just donated $9.99 and said, cheers, Davey, and also the handsome Davey. So he must be talking about me and you. But he hasn't stated what one is the handsome one. But I've got a beard than you, haven't you? So it must be me.
I just don't care. I retire according to the British government in a few weeks' time, so I must be ugly. There you go.
I don't know about ugly, but definitely old. Aye. And Thomas MacArthur, who's selling his CDs at the moment, has promised to donate the profits for these CDs to food banks as
David, can you tell everybody where the ND2 charity night is taking place?
It's in the Motherwell. It's in the New House Hotel. And it's a small event this time. There's only 50 tickets available. The hall we had the last time was too big. We couldn't afford it.
And the tickets cost...
Which is a bloody shame because it was a great night.
The tickets cost £10, right? And the start time on the Saturday night?
Oh, we were at 7:30.
Right, okay, that's fine. So, can all get pissed? Well, Chris, if you want to come and you want to get us pissed, then fine, that's okay. We're happy with that.
There's a problem there with David right enough. He doesn't drink.
Bring a
but I'm quite happy to drink all your stuff.
Bring a brew, that's the way. And thanks, Alistair. Thank you very much.
It's Alistair.
A peer character lifting some weights saying, keep it up. Keep it up. I'm an old man, I can't keep it up.
Oh, hey, Viagra, dear boy, Viagra.
Tried it.
Oh, that bloody works all right. 9 in a row. Yahoo! Right, that's enough of this carry on. And no, there'll be no buckfast drink here, dear boy.
No.
Beer only. Hey, right, we're early now, David, so we can wrap this one up. Thanks, folks, for your generosity today.
Yes.
And viewing figures are massive today.
You know.
At this point in time, as we wind things up, we've got 214 people watching live.
I think to be honest with you, people are just blooming sick of what they saw yesterday. It was so obviously made up. You know, and they've been looking for people like you and I to come on and discuss it and all the rest of it. I don't blame them. I'd be the same.
Well, we can only dance through and discuss it. We can't get into the substance of it. But if you want to read more substance, folks, and you're on my friends list, go on to my timeline, scroll down, you will find the accounts that were published in 2020.
Rather important.
And that was the year we told Clerkin to behave himself.
Yes.
I mean, Sean's a nice guy, but he's dangerous, he's daft.
Yeah.
And not in a clever way. And for the Times to claim that person has been changing the face of politics in Scotland since 2011, wow.
Yeah, all right, wow.
That just fires up Sean's bahookie.
Yeah.
Which is where I threatened to put my boot on, actually.
I think the Times are showing off what their agenda is anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah.
To promote somebody like Sean Clerkin, you know, who stood in Edinburgh and told the Times and their crew to get out of Scotland, shows you how low they go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now, Sean, let me clear this up, David. Sean's not a bad guy. He's just a wee bit naive in how he goes about things.
Yeah.
I want to make that clear. Sean and I have known each other for a long time. And I can't say I dislike the man. I dislike some of the stupid stunts he pulled.
Yeah.
You know, it was tell Sean, behave yourself. The accounts are there for all to see. And he still went and made the complaint.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So Sean, wise up. You're doing more damage than good. Are you a double agent? Or are you just not wise enough to know that you're doing more damage than good?
I think what you're saying, he's not intelligent enough to be an agent, nor mind be a double agent.
Aye, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I've got a soft spot for Sean. He's always been a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
He just does silly things.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, time to round this up. So if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. And you can share it for there.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, give me a couple of minutes when we end the stream to change the stream to public, to change the video to public, because as you all know, and I keep repeating, Meta are restricting me.
I like it. So
I was hoping it would end when I was.
David, Mr. E says, at your age, and he's obviously talking to you, keeps you from dribbling on your trousers when you go for a piss.
You're like we're talking about you.
No, I'm going to do fucking handstands.
Hey, listen, I can stop pure high was.
Right. Enough. That's right.
That's enough of that rubbish.
Nice.
You were getting censured.
Oh yeah, you're bloody brilliant, and you make me laugh so much. Thank you. Right. And
it's been a lot of fun. It really is. But David, note to yourself, you do the Facebook comments for now on, because all I'm getting is who's watching.
Right.
I see Tommy's there. Tommy, I hope Susan's all right. Give me a wee PM and let me know how she's getting on, please, Tommy.
Yeah.
All right. Tommy, Susan's in the University Hospital in Ayr, as I said last week, you know. So Tommy, let me know how Susan's getting on. John, nice to see you there.
Yeah.
I can't see the comments. So next show, David, you cover the Facebook comments, please. My bandwidth's not wide enough. I'm just getting who's watching, all right?
Right.
Do you guys have a bloody great day? I'm going to have a great day because I'm 3 beers in and I'm like, I don't work till 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So I'll catch you all later. Right. Just leaves one thing left today, David.
Bye, Davey. Bye, guys.
Bye, David.